Hi, welcome. Oh, it's going to be good to get outside. So, welcome YouTube, welcome Facebook, welcome Zoom. Let's do 45 minutes of yoga. Hopefully, you can hear me okay, see me okay, and not see too many wires and all the technology behind here. I'm going to set it away. The old CD players. So, let's start. We're going to do 45 minutes of basically classic Hatha yoga. And we'll start in a seated posture and bring ourselves up slowly into some standing movements and see where it takes us. But 45 minutes gives us 15 minutes to warm up, 15 minutes to work maybe at a little more of a, let's just say, intense rate, and then 15 minutes to kind of relax and slow down and breathe, but breathing all the time. So brush off your feet, take off your socks, let your feet breathe. That's important. And please join me in a seated posture. We're going to try and get the spine straight. So roll your shoulders back, lift your heart. Seeing lots of airplanes these days fly over since like 3 a.m. this morning here in Canada. It's cold again, snowing, freezing rain. And the other day we were in shorts. That's Canada. Om Canada. Om Canada. Om everywhere. Om world. Praying for peace. Straighten your back. Relax your shoulders. Let a little weight off your shoulders. Maybe give yourself a pat on the back for the last couple of years of chaos. And let's welcome new life force, new breath, right here, right now. Breathe in very deeply through your nose. Use both nostrils, both nadis, both channels. And feel the dance of female, so that's the left side, and male, the right side, starting to swirl together into union. Because that's what yoga is, creating union. So you and I just having this moment together is union. And that's why we love yoga so much, just feeling that oneness, body, mind, and soul here in union, us in union, Om Yoga. So let's begin with a little bit of movement as we climb toward getting the mind here with the body. So focusing on both nostrils, breathing, blow into your balloon. So feel your tummy expand, your chest expand. Breathe very, very deeply. And then as you exhale, feel your chest, your belly soften and deflate. Inhale, breathe in. Good. Fill up with fresh new life force and prana. And exhale very, very deeply, release. And no matter what we do for the next 45 minutes, keep your mind focused on your breathing, on controlling your breathing. So control is yama. Prana is not breath. Prana is life force. So we get it from other things as well. We get life force from our food, from the elements, of course. So breathe. Let's see if we can get that to soften a bit. And when you're ready, drop your chin so you bring your chin in toward the center of your collarbones. It's actually better. Inhale and exhale as you press your chin toward the center and relax your shoulders, but still sit up straight and breathe slowly. Good. Inhale and raise your head back out. Simple movement and exhale. Now, inhale and turn. Turn your head, but keep your shoulders and your hips in line, facing forward. Turn and look over your right shoulder. Breathe through your nose. Slow down your breathing. Inhale. And cross your heart and exhale on the other side. Shoulders down, heart lifted. Breathe. Through your nose, deeply, fully, and completely. Inhale back to center and exhale. So we're focusing on our breath, trying to elongate breathing through our nose, slow down our breathing, our heart rate, our mind. Good. Inhale, raise your arms. Reach up and do a few circles above you. Relax your shoulders. Breathe in and out through your nose. And we usually do about 5 breath cycles or 5 movements on each side of the postures, or 5 circles, let's say forward and backward. Like you guys are bringing out the sunshine. That's fantastic. Interlace your hands and stretch your chest. So open your heart toward me. Let's share love. You can close your eyes and feel that. Fill up your heart. And for those that want to set a samkalpa, an intention, so maybe your intention is to feel more gratitude, or maybe more peacefulness, or maybe your samkalpa is very private, something you would like to at least just bring to your practice if you like. I'll share mine. Mine's going to be gratitude today. Just want to feel and fill up with gratitude so I can give some and maybe some more reasons too. Good. All right, interlaced fingers come up to the sky now, arms in line with your ears, shoulders relaxed, chin in line with the floor, breath deep. Inhaling, again, fill that balloon, your chest and your belly. And exhale very deeply. Really. Let's take it to one side. So hopefully if we're mirroring, we're all going to be going to our right. Stretch and creep the hand that's on the floor. As long as you do both sides, that's the main thing. But we usually will start on our right in yoga and then go to our left on the sun side, if you will, on the east side, and then the west is the moon side, let's say, or the back. Inhale, come up. So maybe 2 to 3 breaths through your nose, maybe 3 to 5, depending on your breaths. And then go to the other side. You're trying not to come forward. You're leaning back and opening what we call this a rotation of the shoulder that's outwards, if you will, or external. This would be internal. So externally open and rotate your shoulder. Breathe, stretch your sides, your lungs, your ribs, your intercostal muscles. Good. Inhale, come up. Do a few circles again above your head. Go both ways with those circles. Bring your focus to your breath through your nose. Take the shoulders with your hands gently. Inhale, big breaths. You can bring your shoulders together and then back. Do maybe 3 big full circles forward. And then 3 big circles with your wings backward. There we go. Inhale and exhale through your nose. Perfect. Then take your arms and cross them. See if you can do a little eagle arm. So Garudasana arm. If you can't reach for your palms, just give yourself a big hug. 3 breaths on this side, working toward eagle arms, Garudasana arms. You can play with it a little, pull them down or lift them up. Breathe through your nose. And then after 3 breath cycles, open your arms, squeeze the shoulder blades together behind you, then cross the other arm over. Try to wrap the palms toward one another, and then you can pull gently into your chest, or you can lift your arms a little bit. See where you feel it or where you'd like to feel it. And breathe through your nose. Inhaling light through both nostrils, both male, female, right, left. And creating that oneness. Awesome. Now take your hands, interlace them if you will, please, behind you. For those that did yoga with me yesterday, you're going to feel a tingle from some of those chaturangas. Lift your chest, look up, inhale. And then as you exhale, try not to round your back and bring your chin down. Keep your chest facing me, if you will, please, and lower your body. And then bring those arms, hands connected. You can use a belt and hold a belt if that's easier. Raise them up to squeeze the shoulders together. You might want to shift and play here a little bit. Work your head toward the earth, hands up over your back. Breathe in and out through your nose. Again, 3 to 5 breaths, depending on what feels right for you. Cool. And release. Let's let the feet go. Maybe as you put your feet down, give each foot a little bit of a massage. It's really important, all the nerves, the muscles, and the connective tissue in the feet, they're continuously taking our weight. So it's wonderful if we just give them a little bit of love, and especially before they take our weight here in asana. So give your feet a little massage, your toes, and try as often as you can to have your feet connected into the earth. Even this morning here in the snow, I walked out, I took out the recycling and had my feet on the earth. So very important, Don't wear shoes as much as possible. I know for some it's a safety thing, absolutely, or a temperature thing. But if you can, get the feet out and open and feeling good. So we've started with a little bit of a stretch and seated. Now if you'll kindly come up, and we'll begin in standing position. What we're going to do is a little bit of Surya Namaskara, a little sun salutation, if you will. A little construction going on across the road here the last couple of years. I'm sorry for the beeping. We'll try our Om again and see if we can unbeep them a little bit. There we go. So come on up to the top of the mat. If you're able to face east, that's amazing. So I know you can't quite get me on the whole screen, but if you can earth into your feet, take a few breaths to come forward onto your toes and backward a couple of times. And breathe. You can let your shoulders relax. Inhale and exhale through your nose. Breathe. Good. And then you can keep your feet hip width apart or together. Together is a little more challenging. And bring your hands into prayer position. That doesn't mean you have to be religious or have to pray, but it's a nice place to begin. And when we greet each other, we tend to bring our hands here. It's uniting your energy and universal energy at your heart center, which is kind of cool. Inhale, raise your arms up and reach back. So we're going to do a little bit of a play with sun salutations. Exhale, Surya Namaskara, and fold forward. Now we're going to stay in the folded forward bend for a couple of breaths, Uttanasana. So shake your knees a little bit, and I would bend them. See how my back's flat? I'm trying to bend without a rounded back. So we're trying to avoid this hanging rounded back. We call it the text neck now. So if you want to, stick your buttocks out a little bit, fold from your hips, and then try to bring your chest toward your thighs. Then work your buttocks up toward the sky and your head down. Now you're in an inversion. A lot of people think, oh, that's just a forward fold. But your brain is upside down, your heart's upside down, your hips are over your heart. So take a few deep breaths here. Inhale and let that blood go into the smaller capillaries of your body. Compress your organs. This is great if you have menstrual cramps at the beginning of a cycle to do a forward fold. Inhale and exhale in Uttanasana. Then place your hands like you're digging underneath your toes. This is one of the first positions in Patabi Joy's Ashtanga series, but we're going to round the back. So we're going to do opposite of what we just talked about and create sort of a puff of a balloon. Then we're going to fold, look up, bring that chest down, flat back, and then round it again. Try to pull on your wrists and open your shoulders, that hunchback kind of roundedness. Kyphotic curve, if you will, and then push up. Now hold, shoulders down, tailbone sticking it out there, buttocks out a little bit as well. Uttanasana. Good. Take your peace fingers, wrap them around your big toes, your left toes. Place your thumbs right on the toenail and see if you can straighten the legs a little bit with the chest still working into the thighs, shoulders relaxed. Breathe. Deepening on your exhalation, keep your head up if you need to, and remind yourself of your sankalpa, your intention during your practice. And if you want to, or if you need to, I should say, sip water at any time. Please make this practice your practice. And if you have any medical issues, please check in with us. You can email us at Yoga Mat Live. Inhale, step back with your right foot, and let's come into a runner's lunge. We're going to drop the knee, the back knee, and you can pad that knee with a blanket. Some people just take their mat, roll it up, and stick their knee on it to give themselves a little bit more padding. I got a super thick mat, 20-year-old mat here. And the front knee, I'm going a little further, but you're trying to keep the knee in line with the heel, so there's a straight line. Our intention is stretching that right hip flexor. Good, breathe. So hands can be on the inside, hands can be on your knee like mine are. And if you want to add a twist, keep your hips and shoulders facing forward. Take the opposite elbow, so this would be my right elbow over my left, and then try to unite your palms and look over the back shoulder, the left shoulder. But if I was looking forward, my hips are still facing the front line. Breathe. Good. Inhale, frame your foot, turn your toe under behind you, lift your knee, step back, and come into a plank position. So here we're going to use full core, flatten your back, and we're going to do 10 shoulder taps. You can do this on your knees if you like to, drop at any time. I'm going to open my feet. I'm going to tap one shoulder and then the other shoulder, lifting one hand. You can drop your knees, and I'm going to exhale on the way down. And I'm going to the best of my ability, not move my hips back and forth from behind. That's the tricky part, is keeping my hips flat, just using my arms, see? So we do this with Karen. We do specific kinetic movement, and we also do it with Bhakti, which is really great. You should take some of those courses and learn a bit more about trying to isolate the muscles. You can feel it in your core, feel this in your arms. I think we've done 10. So we're going to drop down. This time we're going to bring the feet together. Lift them up and bend your back. Have a little stretch. Then place them down together and feed your face, chin, and chest through and come up in a little bit of a cobra, Bhujangasana. Fingers should be underneath the middle of your shoulders. Knees off the ground. Calves are working. Breathe. Lift up to maybe the last rib. Keep your shoulders down. Bhujangasana. Remember those 3 to 5 breath cycles through your nose on each side of the pose. Turn your toes under, swing back, and let's go into downward facing dog. We'll walk it out. So we'll have this sort of upside down V position. Some people call it a pyramid. And I'm lifting one heel off the ground, then the other. My hands are shoulder width apart. My wrists are in what we call a wrist crease line. Full hands, square of palms, are being united to the earth. I've got my arms active, so my upper arms are actually pushed in toward my ears a bit, and my lower arms, the forearms, are pushing out toward the edges of my mat. Little tiny space under my heels, knees can be bent a bit, chest shouldn't be all rounded, the back is straight, the back of the legs are straight. It's a very aligned position. Good. So once you've walked it out and taken a couple of deep breaths, take the right leg, and we're going to bend it back today. So we're going to have a little hip stretch, but we're going to keep the left foot, left leg, left knee, and left hip all in the straight line. Also these shoulders, keep them in a straight line and allocate to the right hip. Breathe. Then step it forward, and if we got this right, the left leg should be on the ground now, and the front leg is your right leg. Shoulders relaxed, draw your straight line of energy, both hips facing forward. Want to advance it a wee bit, you can push a little more into the knee. Breathe deep breaths in and out through your nose. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Toes relaxed. Breathe through your nose. Thanks for the hat, Karen. It's actually from Michael, but I'm bored. Left hand, if you want to twist, is going to go over the back of the left or right knee. And then the hands come together, but we're still keeping the alignment of everything facing forward, if you will. Hips, shoulders, little spinal twist in the middle of our back. Breathe in and out through your nose. Perfect. Then we'll bring the hands to frame the foot. Turn your toe under behind you. Lift the knee like we did on the other side. Step back. Let's go into that plank. This time, we're going to change the position and lift our feet 10 times. So we're going to inhale, one leg up, and exhale it down. Inhale, one leg up, exhale down. 3, 4, 5. You got it. Just keep breathing and use your breath. Good. 8. Keep your, again, shoulders flat. And 10. Now, this time, take it through chaturanga, if you will. So come into that tighter push-up, almost a few inches off the ground. Roll to upward facing dog. Good. Try to press your hips in line, forward, shoulders down. Just feel a nice stretch in your lower back, extension, then walk back into downward facing dog. Good, let's turn out the left foot a little bit and step the right foot up. Let's get into a lunge position for Warrior One, Virabhadrasana. So make sure that the front foot, knee and heel are in line, straight above one another. Hips are facing forward. Good, arms come up. Back foot is pointed out about 30 degrees. You can see my lunge, so I'm not up on my foot. It's all earth into the ground. Warrior one. Good. Then, same arm and elbow, place it on top. So the end of my elbow and my knee are not hitting. It's the muscles. And then I'm going to turn this hip back. So I'm going to rotate my left hip out, stretch from the left middle of my foot all the way up in side angle. And if I can, I'm going to look at my fingertips that are extended. The whole side of my body should be feeling this, from the middle of my toes up to the middle of my finger. Breathe. So most postures have a viewpoint, the drishti point. Now inhale, if you will, and bring it to warrior two. So your feet stay the same. You can have the front heel in the center arch of your back heel, or you can have a heel to heel connection. That's a little more challenging. Make sure these hips and shoulders stay in a straight line. Look at the middle fingertip of the extended right hand. Virabhadrasana, opening from center, shoulders down, open your chest. Good, let's frame the foot, tilt, so make sure your hips are forward, step back. Again, plank pose, use your core. So we've done warrior side, but between sides, let's do a side plank. So on the same side, come into Vashisthasana, the side plank. Try to bring your left foot on top of your right foot. Find a drishti point to gaze at. You can use the left foot in front of you to support you, or you could advance the pose by reaching the left foot up. Good. Come back to plank pose. Exhale down through a small chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, roll your toes, massage your feet, and come back to downward facing dog. Open your shoulders, press your chest to your thighs without too much over pressing of the chest. Turn your right foot out about 30 degrees. You know what we have to do? Don't turn it out yet. Keep it square. Fold your left knee and let's massage the front of the left hip. Keep the shoulders facing square. Just open that left hip. Breathe. 3 to 5 breaths on each side. Then we'll take the foot up. Bring it up for warrior one. So bring it into the left lane of your mat. Keep your right foot behind you in the right lane. Once you feel comfortable, inhale and let's come into warrior one. So now my hips and shoulders are facing forward. Shoulders down, heart open, breath deep. Inhaling and exhaling, toes again, taking my balance. Everything's active. Warrior one. Now I'm going to move sideways, shift a little bit to make sure I'm nice and aligned sideways. Then I'm going to bring my left elbow toward the end of my left knee and my right arm right over my right ear for angle, side angle. You want to feel this right through your side, all the way up from your toe to your middle finger above your head. You can look up at your finger. Good. Take a few deep breaths in and out through your nose. Then on your next power inhalation, come up, keep your body balanced and bring your arms open. Your hips might be stinging a bit, hopefully not hurting, stinging as in working hard. Virabhadrasana, version 2 of warrior. Breathe. Big deep breaths. Look at your middle finger, 3 to 5 breaths on each side of the posture. Let's gently inhale, frame the left foot, turn the right foot over, and step the left back into the plank position. So wrists right under your shoulders, full muscles engaged. Then left side of Vashisthasana. Try to bring yourself into the plank side pose. Try to bring your right foot directly over your left. You can use the right foot on the earth. Look up at your fingertips. Or you could advance and open. Breathe. Doing amazing. Inhale. Let's frame again. Exhale down through chaturanga. Inhale up through upward facing dog. You don't have to do these. You can just swing back. And then we'll go into downward dog. And then when you're ready, just walk or step to the middle of your mat. Maybe bring the feet together, chest and thighs together, and roll up slowly, one vertebra at a time, to standing. Anytime you want to sip water, you sip water. Anytime something doesn't feel right, you stop. I'm just checking time. 25 minutes, you're doing great, all that movement. So now, we're going to do a couple of balancing poses. When our mind is more relaxed and our body's more open, it's a little easier to balance. Let's do tree pose, Vriksasana. Turn your right foot out to the side. And that means turning the knee out as well. Here's the difference though. The hips are still in that rectangle with the shoulders. Finding a drishti point in breathing will help you with your balance. Create a trunk in the left leg. Feel like that is your grounding trunk and the foot is rooting into earth. Mother Earth, receive that. I'm watching chipmunks around my tree. Now, when you raise the leg, which you see a lot of people doing, you have to be careful not to bring it onto the knee. So bring it into your inner thigh or onto your other thigh. Open from the center. And then express your tree. It might be today with your hands at your heart or on your hips, or perhaps over your head. Just express Vriksasana. Take 3 to 5 breaths in tree pose. Focal point, shoulders down, heart lifted. Nice work. Place your hands on your hips, bring your leg and knee in front of you, and try to raise them for 3 to 5 breaths out, just holding your foot up. It's harder than you think. Don't lean back. Keep your hips in square with your shoulders. Breathe. I'm going to turn sideways. Stay with me. Then bring that foot behind you. Try to reach for the foot from the inside, like you're hugging your arch of your foot or the top toes. Left arm out, square hips, square shoulders. Let's celebrate Shiva, Lord Shiva, Natarajasanas, or the Lord of the Dance pose. Keep those hips without pulling this one too high. Find your focal point, 3 to 5 breaths. Nice work. Come up, raise the knee for a moment to rinse the hip, and just melt that out. You can move, breathe. Ground into the trunk of your right leg. Feel your foundation and your roots. When you're ready, lift your left foot, open it to the side, and pull the knee either up, just maybe to your ankle today, but just make sure this heel doesn't touch or push on the knee joint of the other leg. Breathe. Whew. Good. Telling you to breathe. Too much coffee. Inhale and exhale through your nose. Express your tree. You might be a willow tree, apple tree, oak tree. Inhale and exhale. Keep your focal point in your balance pose. Breathe deeply and slowly if you can through your nose. Think of your intention, your samkalpa. Bring the foot out, knee straight. Hold that leg up. Hello. Hold it up, hold it up. Try to flex, try not to lean back. Hips in line with your shoulders. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Breathe. I'm going to turn. Keep that leg up. You got this. Good. Leg up. Then it comes back into your left hand, left foot, into the fingers. I'm holding mine on the outside as I advance, but I generally teach it with us holding it on the inside. Feel it out. Keep the hips square, so that means your headlights of the car pointing forward. Use your right hand as a balancing stick. You see the tightrope walkers with the stick? Here's what we're kind of intentioning with the balance on the right leg. Stick out and open. Reach from center. Breathe. Inhale and exhale. Good. Lift this side and release. Step it out, bend it out, shake it out, feel whatever feels good. Inhale, raise your arms. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up and step back into downward facing dog. Walk out, downward facing dog. Roll to your toes and onto your knees. It's camel day, it's hump day, so let's do the camel. Create the hump by rounding your back, so it's not about touching your toes or heels, about creating a hump of a camel, which we'll do by pressing forward, a nice stretch of your back. Breathe, turn your toes under if you'd like to, and That'll help you reach for your heels. Drop your head if you're advanced. And there you go. Let's do a little back bend together, 3 to 5 breaths in Tadasana at your own pace. Knees together makes it 10 times harder. You go ahead and try. Breathe. Then come down softly the other way into child's pose. Rest that out of your back, stretch it out of your back, relax your shoulders. Good. Come up and swing your legs out in front of you now so that you're on your buttocks, and we'll start to slow our practice down. But we always work our core. It's so vital. Yeah, you have your ribs to protect your beautiful heart and your lungs, and you've got your pelvic crust or your girdle to look after those organs. But we need our muscles to look after our digestive system and our spine. So let's create some muscles, strong ones. Let's wake them up off the couch. Sit into your earthy sit bones, so what we call the ischial bones, and try not to do this. So what we're really trying to do in yoga is avoid this and this. We're trying to push the chest forward, roll the shoulders back, and activate these beautiful curves, these natural curves in our back. Now, with your shoulders in line with your hips, let's start a little bit of a boat pose for a little core work. Bring the legs so that they're in line with the floor, and then the arms as well. Breathe. Good. Inhale. And if you can, scissor yourself down to a shooting star. Now, if you want to, you can stay on your hands and just do this with your legs. So your legs can come in and out. Or you can fully come up and fully come out. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do it 10 times. Inhale. This is 3. Exhale. 4. You got this. 5, kind of like rowing a boat. Inhale, so you get big breath in. Exhale. 6, come on. We got this. 7. 8. There we go. Inhale on the way down. 9. One more. And 10. Now take the back of your calves without coming out yet and see if you can straighten those legs up. Find a focal point. Now try to straighten your back. See if you can get a little bit longer. Shoulders down. Breathe. Excellent. Bend the knees. Bring both hands to one side. Kick the legs out. Inhale and kick the legs to the other side. Bring the hands over. Good. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Feeling it in your thighs too. And just breathe. 7, 8, 9. You have this. And 10. This time, release. Let's roll down onto our backs for the end or coming toward the cooling down of our practice. Bring your head down, massage your back. Do some circles. Kind of like you're stirring soup with your knees. That's what my mom used to say. Then pull your knees open for a moment, almost like in a semi-happy baby pose. Inhale and exhale through your nose. Bring your legs up with your arms up. Have the toes touch. Have a stretch open. Inhale. And exhale, close. I don't quite have enough space. Let me move. Let's do just a few of these. Close. Open arms and legs. Just do the legs if that's easier. And exhale. That's 3. Inhale. Exhale. That's 4. And you can do them with your hands under. 5. So you can do them here, hands under for your lower back. 6. You got it. 7. Keep breathing. 8. 9. You can again bring hands in as well. All the way back, an inch from the ground. Exhale. One more. Reach. And then on this one, hug your knees. If you'd like to add a plow and inversion into your postures or into your asana practice, and you're okay, it's an okay time of the month and you feel good, you can raise your legs up and try to bring them over the back of your head. Now, once you do that, please don't look at me anymore. Make sure your head stays straight. Moving your neck with all your weight in that area can be quite challenging. And this isn't something I promote without experience, really. So if it's your first time doing a plow, come and join us for a few classes online where we break it down a bit more. You're trying to get your shoulders here in line with your hips, but that can be really tricky and take a lot of practice. So no matter what, you should support the back of your where your adrenaline is, basically here, the top of the pelvic crust is. And then play with it. Maybe use a wall, bricks. You want to see, you can even hear my voice. It's completely compressed here. So it's a position, some people love it. They want to go to sleep in it. My mom loves it. Some people find this, again, very challenging. So that's the whole thing about yoga. It's your journey. Come out slowly and be really careful when you're bringing all the blood into your head. So that's something we should just do. We should definitely learn. Breathe. Well done. Hug the right knee. Let's twist to complete the practice. So I'm going to hug the right knee in. Keep my shoulders down. Pull the knee over with my left hand. Wiggle open my shoulders. If you want to, you could make it even more challenging. You could reach for the grounded foot, but keeping the shoulders down is tricky when you do that. Twist, breathe through the center. Try to pile and stack the hips in a straight line on one another and try to look at your open right hand. Inhale and exhale through your nose. Again, make it your practice. Switch and bring the left knee up, over, stack hip over hip, and then shoulder. Yeah, you heard the chiropractics there. Shoulder over shoulder. See, Karen's head is way smaller than my head. She has more muscles in your head, more brain. Breathe. I have more skull, I know that. Stretch and open your chest, push down into your shoulders, another 3 to 5 breaths on both sides. So both planes of the body, left and right, are balanced, female and male, Shakti and Shiva, moon and sun. Non-duality, yoga, union, yoga. Hug your knees into your chest. Perfect. And then lay on your back in Shavasana for a few breaths. Just let that energy from the asana and pranayama spread through your body. So just kind of feel like the nadis. Imagine 72,000 channels of prana lit up and flowing, almost like there's light or fireworks going through, if you can imagine, like a plethora of veins. So breathe open and close your eyes. Let your tummy rise as you inhale and exhale. Maybe come back to that samkalpa. Maybe somebody was thinking about taking a plane trip because the planes are flying over and the trains caves. Maybe your samkalpa was to travel out of the basement, to travel out of the house for some of us. Please stay relaxed, lay in Shavasana, and stay here all day if you can. I mean, wouldn't that be cool, right? Remember those days on the beach just laying there? So when you're ready and you feel like you've just had a little bit of time to absorb, we're doing a 45-minute practice today of some hatha movement. And we're going to complete the practice in seated with a breathing exercise. We'll finish with pranayama today. So if you'll kindly bring yourself up, turn onto your right side. Slowly bring yourself into any position that's comfortable for you to meditate in. The main objective is to have the spine straight. All the chakras in line like the natural prism of the rainbow. And if you're practicing like I am to get into the lotus pose, this is Padmasana, which represents the lotus flower. You can start to work on bringing a heel over onto your hip. But the intention is to try and get the knee in line with the hip, which that means like a straight femur bone. Mine are still doing this, crawling out like a spider. But with practice and, again, slow stretching of ligaments. Don't forget, our ligaments don't stretch like our muscles. Our ligaments break. I have screws holding these ligaments, the ACL anterior, because they don't heal. You have to rebuild them. Be careful. Listen to your body. If it's telling you no and to pause, please listen. It'll shout if you don't. And then if we injure ourselves overdoing something, like this feels good right now, but you can see I've still got one knee off the ground, so I'm not quite in the pose. Realistically, I should prop that a little bit. And my knees, I'm trying to get them toward you in the next 54 years of my life. Let's see. So with a straight back, let's do a little bit of breathing. We usually end. Some pranayamas give us a lot of energy. Some of us relax. I love the Satali breath, so I'd like to try that today. It's the one breath or pranayama, controlling of the breath, where we use our mouth, one of the main ones. So we're going to create a tongue that looks like a straw. I know some of the cameras are a little far, but you're trying to make a smaller space basically to inhale through your mouth with. So imagine putting your finger there and trying to wrap the rest of your lips around that. So some call it the beak breath or the bird breath. So it looks like the top, you know how a bird's beak is kind of like goes over the top? So the top lip goes over the bottom, like. Now do you hear that whistling sound? It's also called the hissing breath. You've heard the humming breath. This is the hissing breath. So if you're one of the 50% of the population, we've only had one class in all our hundreds of students that we've had come to teacher training where everybody could do this. One class. So most of the time, half of the world can do and half can't. So try it. Doesn't make you better or worse. Just it's what it is. Eller, do the beak. And it's called Satali, sweet breath. It's so good. And you can do this one in lying down as well if you like. I like it in seated. So it's a great way to start your class or finish your class. Let's do a couple of Satali breaths. So bring in the sweetness. Inhale, a little slower and deeper through that smaller space. Close your mouth and exhale like a dragon through your nostrils. Completely. And then when you're ready, another Satali. Tongue in and exhale. Let's do about 5 more at your own pace. At your own pace. And sometimes exhaling through your nose, we look at the drishti point of our nose. So we actually cross our eyes, and some people tend to giggle a little bit. Now see what happens when you take a couple of regular breaths. Your mouth will feel a little cooler. It's a cooling breath, a hissing breath, and it should feel a little sweeter. Cooler, sweeter. So if you're someone who has a lot of pitta energy, a lot of fire energy, I definitely do, and some of our teachers a lot of us are Hatha, Pitta and Vata, air and fire. But if you have a lot of heat and fire, this is a beautiful breath to cool you down, rather than maybe a sun breath or a cat-cow. That would fire up the Manipura chakra. So if you will, root into your sit bones. That's a great practice. You can look it up. You can come visit us. Satali breath. Let's chant. When we chant, we bring our hands into prayer position, uniting all the energy of the universe, all the love of our world and the worlds beyond with our energy. So they come into oneness, that our hearts sit up straight. This is called sealing. Seal this energy of love, this circle of love into your loving hands, sending it to you and feeling it. So many tenfolds back, if you will. Relax your shoulders and we'll chant. And again, chanting is something some people like, some people don't. But if you've ever chanted with our Bashakti or with Ramji, it's a magical feeling when you vibrate with sound. And the sound that tends to permeate our universe that we've discovered is the sound Om. The way it sounds, the way it rolls through the mouth and up through the body and out and in, is almost like we use the sound A-U-M, like opening your mouth, ah, And then to get to the OM, because it's OM, you have to close your mouth. So it's just natural to kind of go, oh. That O is to get to the M. So OM, open. And just let the sound vibrate as long as you're comfortable. And some of us practice it 108 times a day or a chant. And when you get into the meditational state of that, oh, join us. It's blessed. I think we've got some on Facebook, some 108s. We definitely have one on recording, Zoom with Bashakti. Let's chant Om 3 times. Mind, body, soul. What you did today was stretching, strengthening, and a little relaxation. Sit up straight. Breathe. What's your intention? Again, I was looking to feel more grateful. I'm grateful for health. Thank you. I think I mentioned being almost 54 very soon. So here's to another 54 years. That'll make me 108. I like that. Let's chant Om when you're ready. Do a cleansing breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Om 3 times. Inhale. The divine light in me sees, honors, worships, bows, appreciates, and is grateful for the divine light in you. It's the same joyous, eternal light. We're just a little bit separated, but still connected by this light. Praying for peace, praying especially for peace in our world and health. And the first place we can start is with ourselves. So let's start with us. Thanks for joining today. Namaste. We'll see you again, I hope. Namaste. As I turn you all off, forgive me one here. Namaste.